There is something just below the surface.
I found over 40 different lakes, rivers, and streams in Wisconsin that all claim to have a monster, or at least they had a monster, more than any other state in the entire country.
Including here on Pewaukee Lake.
They called it the intruder. They also called it the gray streak or the green thing. Fishermen would be out and they'd see something bobbing with its head coming straight out of the water 15 feet.
Eau Claire native Chad Lois has written more than 20 books on the weird and unexplainable all over the world.
Everything from hunting vampires in Transylvania to looking for the Tata Duende of Central America. So if it's weird and bizarre, the more likely you'll find me there.
On these trips, he tries what he can to come face to face with the legend.
A lot of these legends have dares, that you have to do something in order for the legend to come true. So I like to test these dares quite a bit.
Like the dare of Chicken Alley outside Shawano.
If you're brave enough or foolish enough to stand in the crossroad, you will hear the angry voice of a man yelling at you to get out of the road. Legend states if you do not heed his advice, you'll be cursed with bad luck until the day you die. So let's see if this gentleman is going to yell at me.
I've come to the conclusion over the years that just because something doesn't happen when I'm there, even if I'm there many nights, that there's no rhyme or reason to these sightings of things.
In his newest book, Lewis hunts down the many lake monsters of Wisconsin, like the long neck of Long Lake, the Lake Michigan Leviathan, the Fox Lake Lurker, or the Fowler Lake Lockjaw.
It was thought to be this huge, gigantic fish of some sort that had baits all over its mouth. But then you move to Lake Geneva, which has Jenny, the lake monster of Lake Geneva, and they believe that this creature still lives there to this very day. Any lake that had a tourist destination had a monster. Yeah. If you were a tourist destination in the early 1900s and you did not have a lake monster, you were behind the times.
Many of the monster tales in Lewis's book come from newspaper clippings and carry with them a surprising amount of credibility.
They contain the names of some of the most prominent people in the community at the time. So they listed oftentimes mayors, bankers, very high-profile people that had a lot of credibility. So when they saw it, people took their word that if they say it's true, it's true.
He's noticed some similarities in our lake monsters.
Most of the lake monster stories in Wisconsin seem to come from two different types of monsters. One is what you would consider the typical Loch Ness creature, the long neck and the humps, the plesiosaur dinosaur. And the other is like a giant eel, but upwards of 50 feet long, a giant snake 12-inch diameter, something that shouldn't be there.
You can try to find them yourself, but Lewis says usually they'll find you.
Most people are out fishing or using water sports and they just see something out of the ordinary. They realize it's not a lateral wave, it's not ducks, it's not an otter. They're sure they've seen something that they can't identify. So it seems like the people that see them aren't looking for them. They just happen by chance. I've never proven or disproven a lot of these, and a lot of people wonder if that was a failure on the part of the book. But for me, it's the exact opposite, that these mysteries live on. And I think that's the beauty of it, is that they're never going to die, and hopefully these creatures never will as well.